Hey,
Everyone's voice is coming through. So today
Excellent.
it's Gavin,
Branden.
and Geordie.
Geordie. Geordie here's a special guest of our Hyperfixation podcast today. He actually works in the space that we're recording this, so very easy trek from work to here and back. Quite an easy one. Obviously, similar thing to every other time. Quick introductions here. I feel like we pinned it because we're smart enough to do that, but I actually don't know if we did. Hopefully we did. Please tell me we pinned it. We did.
Okay.
So, Hyperfixation is our weekly podcast that we record Wednesday mornings, at least for now. We are recording it on behalf of True Gaming. Obviously, that's the platforms we're on. We're doing it sort of to build up hype for Actual Life as well as super fun afterwards. True Gaming is the university club for gaming at Thompson Rivers University in Kamloops, BC. And the show's Hyperfixation.
Working on this intro as we go.
Gavin. I'm in my third year of computer science.
I'm Branden. I'm in the TESOL program here at the university.
And I'm Geordie, first year, second semester of computer science.
Nice. Yeah. So let's get started. This week we are doing crowdfunding. Specifically, crowdfunding that's failed. Crowdfunding crash and burn.
Yeah. So I specifically, when I was looking up crowdfunding ideas, I looked up ones that achieved the goal, but then just failed hard after they...
I think that's a significantly more interesting discussion to have.
Oh yeah,
Ones
because like
that hit the goal and then
you made your goal and then you just somehow
you had the
boxed
money.
it
How
up.
did you botch it, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you think we should start with? I think we
Well,
can wait for one of them for
Yeah,
I mentioned that one a bunch. I think I'm gonna start with a funny one that I think is
Okay.
very funny.
Yeah. What you got?
The fact that this exists is the most shocking part. So, this is a crowdfunder called Mine Waifu.
What?
Yeah, we're starting strong here.
Okay.
This is called Mine Waifu, and it's literally a VN where it's a VN set in the Nazi high command. I'm like, who thought this was a good idea?
I mean, it's a Japanese creator in all likelihood,
Oh,
so
still.
their sensibilities when it comes to that stuff is a little different than ours.
But they still got 87,000.
87,000. They only asked for what? 8? Yeah, so like 10 times their budget. Like, apparently this
These
did
are
not go well at all.
The people who are just absolute whores for visual novels.
Yeah, but like, goddamn. I know there's like waifu tanks and stuff like that, but like, at least that I can think more about.
There's
that,
waifu
too.
horses, and that feels less disturbing than this.
Honestly, yeah, I prefer waifu horses over waifu
Oh my god.
Nazis. Like, oh my god, I don't like that at all.
It's like, oh man,
And like,
that's so ridiculous.
if you go back and you actually look at like some of the stuff around it here, I don't think it went well at all from whenever like the discussion around it is like, even if looking at the updates, let's look at the updates really quickly and see if we can actually see those. Oh, don't do that. I don't know what.
Not a video. Don't need that.
But yeah, in the updates, a lot of the times that's how you know something failed miserably. It's like something. This is a game, and it has 18 updates.
Recent too.
Yeah, this is from October, so this is the recent one. So current status is, yeah, okay. So they're still working on this. Like this is
When did it start?
last update was about 2 weeks ago. This is
Yeah.
probably the most recent one we're going to talk about.
I'm
As
just
far as
wondering.
when the crowdfunding actually occurred, I guess our best bet to figure that out.
We should
is
go
to
through
to
the
bottom of the
updates.
updates. Yeah, looks like this was made 3 years ago, so it's
Oh
actually
my
really
God.
slow too.
Yeah.
like 3 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Especially for a
obviously-
visual novel.
Yeah, like I would say that most games you give them a bit of a margin, where it's like, yeah, games take a while to make. Like MMOs take 10 years on average, right? Like shit takes time. But like looking at
Hey,
Guys, how's it going?
Alright.
I'm the last one here. I don't know.
we're talking about Mine Waifu.
My
Yeah.
waifu?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mine Waifu.
Oh shit. The German one or yours?
My German
Japanese
waifu.
one.
Okay,
The
so
visual novel.
My girlfriend would have no idea about. I have to talk to my girlfriend about that. My girlfriend's Japanese. I'd be very curious. Like, how's your reaction to this? Because it definitely would not be the same as ours when we hear something like this. She would probably just find it weird because that's otaku shit there.
Yeah.
But
Dude, you mentioned you were in Japan, right?
yeah.
Because I'm also dating a Japanese girl who I met here. And I'm actually heading over there to Japan in like January.
Give you time to look that stuff up. Yeah.
So like, how was it over there? Because you mentioned you
It's
lived there
nice.
for like 7 years.
5 years.
5 years, yeah.
I also spent a year in university in Tokyo. But my 5
Right.
years was up in Sapporo, which is
Hokkaido,
North
yeah.
Japan. Yeah. Very very nice. I love like. There's difficulties about living in Japanese society,
Yeah.
and there's things like this that come up where you're just like, hey, Nazi shit, don't talk about the Nazi shit, and they know it's bad, but they also don't react to it the way we do when people bring up that stuff.
How do you mean? Like,
Well, just like if you do give a Z Heil, like it doesn't get the same reaction as if you do it here.
why do you think I'm gonna do a Z Kyle?
Don't do that.
Well, because people here do it all the time too as a joke, and it's like, well, there are people who do it as a joke, and then there are people who are serious about it.
Bad people.
Bad people do it as a joke. Yeah.
Maybe if I was 16 years old.
Yeah. No, again, don't condone it, but that's what I mean. Is the
Is that
reaction to
edgy?
it is way different
Well,
than it
because
would be
the
here.
only people who do it here are doing it for that edgy humor, right? They're like,
Yeah.
oh, if I say this, everyone's gonna look
Yeah,
down at me, and I'm
and-
so
Pretty
dark
much,
and
yeah.
brooding. It's like, no, you're just a twat.
But like a Japanese person probably wouldn't even necessarily react. If anything, if you were at a bar and you do a Z Kyle, you'd probably get some Japanese people doing it as well because
that's
they're just like, oh, this is funny.
Really?
Literally, they wouldn't have the same conscious like,
I guess
this
like,
is horrendous.
there are definitely some people I'd imagine that are like left over who still have that kind of like
Well,
imperialist mindset.
there
I
are
guess.
definitely some, but I don't think any of them were necessarily like hard on board with Germany per se. They were just hardcore about them, like the
'cause
Japanese
there were really
imperial
two separate
thing.
wars that were just kind of funny. So.
Basically.
Tyler, do you want to see the webcam?
Oh shit, yeah, I gotta zoom in.
Yeah,
Scoot over
make
to
some
the-
space.
You can
One-
scoot on that side, or you can scoot into the front here.
One thing I did want to ask you about is it true that like most of the houses there are really small? Because like my girlfriend's always telling me like, oh, while you're here, my place is gonna be like you're gonna be banging your head on the ceiling. And it's like,
I don't think so.
it-
7
it
foot
de-
margin at least.
It depends.
That's
There
right.
are, like, I know in my apartment that I live with my friend, there were parts of the scene where my friend would, and like certain doors he'd have to like actually be conscious of,
alright.
but he was like taller than me.
So for the most part, but definitely like some areas.
It's not going to be that bad, but older places, like if you
Oh,
go
yeah.
into somewhere that's old,
Mhm.
yeah, you're gonna want to be a little more careful about
So
your head.
probably any like rural areas.
Yeah,
probably,
I mean, are you about the same height as me?
I think we're all around 6'3".
Yeah, I think we're.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I'm like a fair
Tyler's a
bit.
little taller.
You'd have to be a little more cautious than me, but it won't be that bad. Now, if you're like 6'3", 6'4", yeah.
All right, so we
Back
looked at
onto
this.
this.
This is a weird thing that exists. One thing I wanted to also get in here, just because like I feel like we go over the little bit of like weird niche stuff. So I found this. It's very strange. I don't like that it exists.
Oh my
No.
God.
And then the other thing I wanted to show you was something I have like a personal attachment to. So I'm gonna on keyboard.
Just because it's a joke doesn't always make it funny.
So that's what you were
Okay.
mentioning, like, because I was like really weird, like, why are we coming in? And like
Yeah.
you mentioned,
No,
like,
that's
it's like,
exactly
oh,
the
okay,
reaction
okay.
I wanted to get at.
I was like, huh, like, why does he mention like Holocaust stuff? Like, why is that the first thing you think of when I say Japan? I don't know.
All right. So this is something I backed. Ooh, when did I back out? It was the first thing I backed ever.
I
So
like
it's
the look
back-
of it.
Yeah, it looks cool as hell. It was last updated in 2019.
Oh my
And
god.
it was posted probably about 2015. Or sorry, no, 2015 was supposed to be delivery.
Yeah, I see that on your laptop
Yeah.
here. Oh my god.
So like this is old. And like the weird thing about it was like it's a really cool idea and they have these really good updates and then like
And then
they
just
fundamentally botched it. If I logged in I could show you a bit more of it, but like realistically they did such a bad job of it.
they didn't
At
actually.
one point, I think they needed to ask for more money.
Oh my god.
And it's so funny to me because like these are what their updates look like, and they're so cute. They're like they have little comic strips for all their little updates and the like the team.
They
and
were putting in some actual effort.
look at these updates; they're so cool. They show the progress and then some of the art and like some of the concepts as they go like on into the updates. And like the updates are great. And like realistically, I think if they didn't butcher the actual drop so badly, it'd be really cool. So like this was the original idea they had, which was like a thing. But as you go through, they've slowly added more things, and it ended up being like this really cool Dark Soulsian
Mhm.
third person thing with this like very interesting aesthetic here. You can even see it in this trailer here. Just
Yeah, I absolutely love how it looks.
So you
Wow.
got this like storybook aesthetic here that they're doing. It looks like almost like it's cut out of wood on a CNC there.
Mhm.
Show me some gameplay models. So this is how they were gonna tell their narrative, and like it's such a cool idea, and then they botched it. And
I didn't even know this existed. I'm retroactively real sad.
Yeah, like there you go. They've got some footage of some people playing it here.
Oh wow, no, I definitely must have seen this because I used to watch Best Friends play all the time.
Yeah, you can see the gameplay here. Oh, get out of here, YouTube. There you go. Right, so it's like this really interesting auto hack and slash,
Huh.
sword combat, cool paper book aesthetic, like very cool game, and completely butchered. Like if you look at that game on Steam, right? So if you go strength to the sword, on keyboard again. So we go strength to the sword. How many per okay? When was the last? Who heard about this? It costs $1 on Steam now.
Oh my god.
94
Oh
reviews?
no, that's how you know.
It's $1.19 to
What
buy.
are the
Wait,
reviews say?
wait, what's with the DLC there?
There's cosmetic skins that they did.
They're 226
So
bucks.
those were exclusive. So it's funny because these guys didn't know what they were doing. Like I liked the game, but they did not know how the management side of it.
Yeah.
The publishing side of it.
Mhm.
So the only way they could release these Steam keys to people through Steam for these aesthetic cosmetics was by sticking it in the Steam store, giving it an extraordinarily high price, and then giving you a coupon code to get it for free.
Oh my.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, shit. At least somebody can get them if they want to. If they don't have the
Yeah.
Kickstarter.
Yeah,
At least recommended.
the reviews are pretty good. I guess very positive overall, but like.
Do you think maybe like the reason the reviews are so good though is because it's $1? Like I feel like if you buy a game
Oh,
for
yeah.
$1, you're
I
like,
mean, nowadays probably, but like I spent $25 on this 7 years ago, and like I honestly it was like it's the only Kickstarter that I've personally backed that I do not personally feel like I got my my value from.
Well, no, absolutely.
And I backed the Critical Role one at $420 USD.
Mhm.
God damn.
That's sad.
That's
Yeah.
what my Vegas.
And I feel like that's one of the huge risks of investing in a
Well,
Kickstarter.
yeah.
You're not really like guaranteed anything at all.
Yeah.
You're just giving them money basically.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
this is like one of the big things I wanted to talk about. Have any of you heard of Chronicles of Illyria?
You wanted to talk about that?
Yeah, I want
I-
to talk about that.
Feel like I heard that name.
So Chronicles of Illyria was this very big Kickstarter for a fantasy MMO that some guy pitched. I forgot the exact details of who he was, where he was from. But essentially, like, this guy basically pitched, like, oh yeah, this is the game of your dreams, right? It's like this fantasy MMO where you can do anything
Hmm.
and people can become kings and queens or whatever. And obviously, it got a lot of money on Kickstarter. You can see
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
screen.
To
That's
be
like,
fair, it wasn't asking for a lot. They're asking for
Yeah.
like 900,000, and then they got
One-
13. So it's not a huge margin of buffer room,
Mhm.
realistically.
Yeah.
but it still was a lot of money
Oh,
being
absolutely.
raised. And essentially, what happened is this guy started development, right?
Yeah.
Took on a team. At some point, like he was making some decent progress or whatever,
Mhm.
and then some publishers came to him, and they basically said, "All right, your idea, if we're gonna make it work, then we need to add like some more monetization options in, because we can't see this being like a viable business prospect as it is now. Your team has no experience. We don't find your
Mm.
idea that compelling and everything like that. So like you can either just like let us take over the development completely, or you could just like be published with us." And allow us to put stuff like loot boxes in your game, microtransactions, stuff like that.
You know, just very quick aside on the note of loot boxes, I like when you give me free loot boxes. I like that more than me paying $30 for a skin.
Yeah.
Because Overwatch 2 right now, the market is fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I bet.
Overwatch 2 is kind of yikes. I saw there was like some skin that was like $35 or something like that, something ridiculous.
Each skin is really insanely expensive. The only cosmetics anyone should be buying in Overwatch right now is the Battle Pass. Everything else is not worth it.
No.
And those are some nice skins too. So like
Sad.
obviously they go on loot boxes.
So this guy, he immediately made like a 3,000 word blog post about it, how like, oh yeah, the game industry's bad. I can't believe they didn't like my ideas. I will not stand by this or whatever. And then from there, game creation kind of like really went down.
Yeah.
People kind of noticed like, hey, it's been like 4 years and this guy hasn't showed us any actual gameplay. And then eventually like it was announced like he was hiring like 10 people, like big things. But
Yeah,
every time he posted an update, it was literally just like, all right, here's some concept art, or he just like posts some random snippet of code, or he'd be like, oh man, here at the office, our team is working really hard, and there was nothing like actually being shown.
Right.
And then eventually, he released a tech demo that was like, I want to say, it looks like some game from like the N64, right? There was only one area. He tried to make it so that it was like he had to get people to like sign an NDA to play it or whatever. Nobody actually did that though. They just like
Jesus.
leaked it online because it was embarrassing. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
maybe like 1 hour worth of stuff, and there was just like some literal Newgrounds level graphics up
Oh
in
my
there.
god.
And then he announced he'd be closing the studio down. And ever since then, 1.3 million is worth of people have been trying to sue him. But, you know, he insists that he's still working on the game, even with no
There
studio.
was an update 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's like, oh man, like, don't worry guys, I'm gonna finish it. It's like, dude, you're one man.
Yeah.
So
And like,
let's take a quick. I just want to see what the update was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, State of the Year Quarter 3 2022 update.
whoa.
Active lawsuit.
Yep. Yep. I believe it.
Okay, let's see. Very last possible Oh no! Writing this at the very last possible the publication day when someone writing something in this case a blog post as late as I am. Generally speaking, a bad thing, but occasionally, oh my god, you're not hyping us up, buddy.
Nope.
News that changed
Bad,
my plans
bad.
for this quarterly update. I was waiting on news. Shit. Class action lawsuit. Dismiss the class action lawsuit which was filed against the studio. Why was there a class action lawsuit in general? Was it all the people who spent money on this game 6 years ago and you screwed them?
And every blog post pretty much reads the same. Like, it's basically like, oh man, we're working so hard, design. Then he talks about like some system and
so
how it supports
long.
things. And look, if you look at this, no pictures, no videos, no gameplay, just this dude like writing out an essay, you know?
Yep.
We will
Rants
never
and
ever
ravings.
see this game. Maybe at least stop updating so I don't have to keep being reminded about every few months how I got ripped off. Woo!
Brutal but fair.
Like, this was supposed to be delivered. Not. This isn't when it was posted. It's a delivered June 2016.
Oh
It has
my
been
god.
7 years. Oh, sorry, 6 years. Sorry. 6 years. And I mean, like, let's see. Does it look cool?
I mean, honestly, my thing with this is like, this guy claims it's some like really unique concept, but it's
Exactly.
literally just like, oh man, you can go in and you can do anything. It's like, how's that a unique concept? Like every 5-year-old is like, oh, that's gonna be in the game that I make, you know?
Over
Yeah.
10 to 14 real world months, your character will age out the full life of their character and die. Neat.
It's a.
And requires a lot
fun
of
to do.
tech. Like,
Yeah,
that's
that's
really hard
insane.
to implement. You need like so many models just for like,
I mean, you could do age sliders where it's just like add wrinkle,
I guess so.
slide
Yeah.
back wrinkle,
Yeah.
change hair
just
color,
whatever they have in like.
salt and pepper scale.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
really, when it comes down to it, I think like most people, if they looked at this and they were like, I want to support this, I think a lot of people would notice it's kind of unrealistic. Like,
mhm.
if you look at a lot of MMOs, like MMOs are like usually pretty simplistic. It's like walk up, click the monster, you do the
Yeah.
ability by pressing
Yeah.
the button. And the reason why is because it's hard to make an MMO, right? Like it's really, really hard. So I don't know why people thought like this random ass dude could do it when like these other big companies with like millions of talented employees were already still using like.
I guess
Walk
that's just
up
the
and
hope
click the
that they've
dude.
been around long enough that other people could potentially break in,
That's true. That's true.
but they gotta actually have a plan. They keep.
Yeah, I actually have something to show for it. You know?
Yeah, I mean it's the classic. Like when you look through most game crowdfunds that failed or like couldn't follow through, is they just didn't actually have like the stuff in place to actually
yeah.
develop the game.
I feel like overambition is definitely
Oh,
like,
very
maybe, like,
much so,
the-
yeah.
the biggest like drawback to like these kind of things. Like a lot of people, they have like really unrealistic expectations, and then they ask for money, and it's like, oh shit, like I don't know how to do this stuff. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when they actually start working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like anyone who's worked in like game development, just like on their own games, will probably be able to like attest to that. Like when you're first starting off, the biggest problem that almost every person who starts off with game development is over ambition.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even with just basic little game apps that I've been making for class, I write all this stuff out, I mock it up using Adobe XD, and then I present it, and I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this. It looks cool though. Like you've got aging, you've got player skill matters. Okay, I guess so. It's got more of that real time action in there.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Offline player characters, so you can run little shops and stuff as you leave. non-repeatable quests. That's interesting.
That's
No world or mini map, and game enforced player controls contracts. Weird.
In a perfect world, this game would exist. But
I will
this ain't
say-
a perfect world, man.
Funnily enough, like all of the stuff it's showing, the ideas are cool. It looks a little like it's such a generic style. To
Yeah,
it,
that too,
and
right?
I kind of hate it.
It definitely looks like the kind of like Unreal Engine 4 slapped on. You know
Even
what I
New
mean?
World has more of an artistic identity
Yeah.
than this does.
Sorry.
It's good. Yeah, this looks insane, and I feel bad for the $1.5 million this guy is basically swindled from people.
Yeah, and the worst part is, I don't even think like he ran and took it for himself. Like I think he legitimately just wasted it, paying employees
Yeah,
for
he
nothing. for
squandered
this.
it
Yeah.
trying to.
Yeah.
I mean,
10 employees. Like, that's
for that kind of a game, it's just.
That's too many,
Yeah.
too small.
That's,
Well, no. I mean, like he hired more than 10, but like
Oh.
he was hiring like 10 at a time. Like he was really
Okay.
ambitious. He was like,
oh,
we
yeah.
have like, a whole new wave of employees in the office, and it's like, dude, you don't even have like game.
Yeah.
for it. Like
But like when you actually think about like their salaries, like how many employees would $1 million actually like last you?
Oh, not much.
that too. Yeah.
No.
So this isn't going to work very well, but I just want to show you guys something really funny here. So backer kit, we'll track it here. This was on Kickstarter initially. This is called Goat Dice.
Mhm.
They're liquid core dice, and the idea was that they have these little clear balls,
Yeah.
and you would put the liquid core in it. You'd seal it up. It had like alcohol and stuff in it, so that it swirled really nicely. And then you would put it in a dice,
Mhm.
right? And they're really pretty. The funniest part about it though is like this was on Kickstarter, and the issue that happened. Let's see if the Kickstarter link will work. Yes. Okay. So you can see how nice they look here, right? Like you get that little water effect in there. See how it sort of just keep doing
Yeah.
it there, right? This Kickstarter failed because the guy who ran it was like charged with racketeering.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
Dang.
my god.
but he dropped the Kickstarter. I think technically Kickstarter suspended it because they're like, you absolutely are not allowed to use our platform. Guy who was charged with racketeering years ago.
Yeah.
Like, what? No, you are not using Kickstarter when your crime is literally ripping people off.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I backed that one. And then it got canceled. I was like, cool, bye.
Yeah.
I didn't feel too bad. I was like, yes, racketeering makes me feel safe with my money there.
And Ray's quite a fair bit too.
Mhm.
For dice at least.
Oh, I mean, yeah, 4,000 people wanted dice. They only asked for 200 because he was going to do like to order style for the Kickstarter.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, have we talked about Mighty Number 9 yet?
We haven't yet. Do you want to do
No.
that?
Oh,
The big one.
Right as I have to go to.
oh no.
Oh,
We're gonna
dang.
miss you, man.
Can't listen to me be sad.
You missed the
Alright.
worst. Just take solace in that.
Makes some.
Okay. You want to steal a seat?
Yeah, I'm gonna steal this comfy chair.
I'll get a little more on camera. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
You want to put that one in the corner and scoot them first of all?
Yeah, we can all.
I'll scoot slightly.
I think that makes sense.
Have a good day.
Have a good one, man.
Scoot, scoot, scoot. Everyone, good scoot.
I'm
Good scoot and
doing
This way?
boogie. Good scoot and boogie.
I'm doing it, man.
There we go. We're all in frame now. Look at that. All right.
Oh,
So next up on the list, we wanted Mighty Number 9. There we go.
This is a video game that exists.
Yes.
Oh, this part.
I mean, it doesn't exist, but it was going to.
It does
It
exist.
doesn't- it
I
does.
own it.
Oh, but it's not good. Sorry, that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just bad. That's,
It's just like, don't gaslight me.
it's just garbage.
It
Right?
exists, but it doesn't really.
It exists, but do we want
Not
it
in
to
the way it
exist?
was
Not any.
supposed to.
I was so excited for this
So
too.
this was like original. Obviously, this is like for those who don't know, Mighty Number 9 is functionally Mega Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was made by the original Mega Man creator, right?
Yep. In case you didn't know.
And I don't know
Great.
what happened, but it sucks.
It sucks. And I think like part of it is definitely like when we think about like games that are made by their series' original creator. Like, have you guys heard of the game Balan Wonderworld? It came out like a year ago. It was by Yuji
Yeah.
Naka,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
same guy who made Sonic and Dream Knights. That game was also
Not
notably
great.
bad.
Even
And
Ukulele, which was made by someone involved in the original
Yeah.
game, wasn't
Yeah, that one
better,
wasn't.
but it's
that one
So
wasn't
bad.
so bad.
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night though.
Yeah, Bloodstained was
was
the one,
so good.
one good one.
That-
Castlevania.
It's the Castlevania,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I love that game so much.
There's also like Blades of Symphony or something like that, which is also like a Castlevania clone.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
heard of that.
I think I know. what you're talking about. But anyways,
But I think like the main thing like I'm trying to get at is like a lot of the times when like the dude is like, "Hey, I made this,"
Yeah.
like he comes back and then you realize, well, I mean, like he made it, but like, did he really make it though? Like, was he really like the sole factor that like contributed?
And then
to
also
Well,
you're restricted
yeah.
by the hardware at the time, which really like forced him to
Yeah.
be more
Yeah,
careful. Because
yeah.
like, what they get? 4 billion? 4 million? $4 million.
$4 billion.
$4 billion almost. They're
Exactly.
looking for like
Yeah.
less than one.
And a good portion.
And then the dude had to make a PayPal where people could send him another $180,000.
I was not part of that. I did not
my
send him more
God.
money.
Nor should you. No one should.
It was so disappointing.
And I don't even think it came to the 3DS. I think the 3DS one was just canceled because the rest were just so bad.
Yeah.
Because it was like, as you went through all the stretch goals, it was poor. But the problem is, like, most of these people don't give themselves enough of a margin. Online
Mhm.
battle race mode. Do you remember that being in there?
So I tried playing through the first stage and I kind of gave up.
Yeah, I only got like maybe like one or
Like,
two
it's,
stages.
I don't know how they butchered it so badly though. It's Mega Man.
And honestly,
Well, it's just like it's the idea. I kind of liked the idea that they had for to make it different from Mega Man, try and make it its own unique thing, but it just wasn't that fun. I just could not get into it.
on the surface, like the artwork, the art style,
I like
the
it.
character designs, they are like really nice, right? Like,
Yeah.
I can definitely get why someone would see this.
They're
and be like,
not-
hell yeah, man.
It's not amazing. Like I'm not that in love with Mighty Number Nine's design, and like I'd go back to like Mega Man X and just like this
Yeah.
like blows it way out of the water.
I definitely think like it's kind of like a weird amalgamation of a lot of different Mega Man art styles. Like, it feels
Yeah.
like almost like classic plus zero
He's
plus
trying-
X. Like it's
trying
like really
way
weird
too hard to
fusion.
ape the original Mega Man.
Yeah, it's like
Just-
when you try to like copy someone's homework, but like you're trying to like make it.
It was
seem
like
you're
it
not
was his
copying
own
it.
homework too.
Like yeah, like you scroll back and it's like, if I change like 3 words here, you
Yeah.
know, like it doesn't seem that like out
Ah.
of place.
And this was 5 years ago, right? Like
Yeah.
that when they did the last updates. So like,
Yeah.
And I think this game, another thing noteworthy about it is it had notably bad marketing. Like,
Oh, it
I
was
think
a mess.
I linked the trailer, but like on the thumbnail for the trailer, they've got like these really horrible explosion visual effects that literally look like pepperoni pizza. Some dude slapped on there.
Yeah.
Like, you remember when we were talking about how like we were talking about like in the space episode, how
Yeah.
some dude just took like a picture of the
chorizo,
woman? Yeah, that's like this. Like this dude like literally took a picture of a pizza and just used it as an explosion.
I was such a
Visual
missed
effect.
opportunity. Like, look how many
Mhm.
comments there are, and I guarantee you, like everything we since gonna be like, this game sucked.
Like, oh my god.
Like nobody was happy with their purchase of this game. It did not work
No.
out the way anyone wanted. And it,
Yeah.
let's see, another year come and gone.
It's a poem.
Man.
Dude was nostalgic.
Sorry.
I did.
Come and gone to quote Frank Sinatra, for what is man, what has he got? If not himself, then he is not. Say the things he truly feels and not the words of the one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and it did my way.
And I did it my way.
Dun, dun,
Duh.
dun.
Never got the 3DS version.
Oh,
I settled for a
man.
Steam key.
Did it come out in the Vita either?
Any update on that 3DS version?
What comes out on the view?
Jesus, I wonder what Infinite has been up to. Oh, yeah, never mind. Oh, he's working on. Oh no!
What is he working on?
It's doing a sequel?
Mega Man artist and Mighty Number 9 creator KG Infinite reportedly returns with NFT project.
Oh my god, no, that's worse.
Oh,
No.
no, 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 no,
No,
no.
Fune, no.
Somehow he shit the bed and then rolled in it.
This is a good example of a time when I no longer appreciate the artist, but I can still appreciate the art. Because I'm like, I feel like I need to go home and play Mega Man X to make myself feel better.
At least Mega Man X is good.
It's so good!
This isn't like when where people look at like Harry Potter with hindsight and realize, oh, the work is also not very good.
That's true. I haven't actually read Harry Potter again in ages, but
It's not. It's all of the problems with her are very overt in
oh
the
no.
product. Everyone's pretty much white. There's a lot of racism in there with the naming schemes as well as
Racist,
allegories
yeah.
for other people.
So I shouldn't go back and read it and just keep my
just-
nostalgia glasses.
watch
remember it
the
as it
movies. The movies were made.
Or
by-
continue reading fan fiction about it.
There you go. Go watch your.
Considerably better.
Go read Ebony Darkness.
I don't know what that is. but
I don't know.
I haven't read any actual Harry Potter fan fiction
It's
except for one that was
Biomortal.
crossed with a series I do read fan
Oh,
fiction
okay,
for.
okay.
And I was like, this is already more entertaining than the original books were.
Alright. But yeah, Mighty Number 9, made by the original creator, still shit the bed.
I guess he just fell off, you know? Like maybe he got
I
lazy in his old age.
I
Brains
don't know. It's just like it. I think there was so much there. There was this ambition to like get Mega Man back out there, like to actually make something fun, while Mega Man's more or less been sequestered to the closet, like most things that a lot of these game companies do, and Capcom especially. But I don't know. I can't imagine what happened in his head that made this happen.
What didn't you like about it when you first booted it? What was your issue?
That even just the opening cutscenes were just not great.
Oh, okay.
Just
lack of polish altogether?
Well, it's not that it necessarily wasn't polished; it just wasn't interesting.
Oh, okay.
I was bored from the
So it's a
get
little
go,
bland, little
which is
generic style,
and that's the worst. Cause like at least it was like bad fun or like bad cutscenes, like you can get into it. But I got bored so fast.
Yeah, I'd say like the real problem with my number 9 is more so like mediocrity more than anything. But I would say it's like kind of unpolished in a sense, not in the sense that like it's like buggy and everything, you're falling through the floor. More like just like the visual style of the game like seems very unpolished. Like even beyond just like the graphics, I remember like the UI was like kind of just very generic.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something a lot of like indie games like really slack on in general. Like, it feels like it's very useless to be like, all right, I'm gonna put like Comic Sans plain blue window for the UI.
It really depends on the indie project though,
I guess so,
because if it's bland but there's a lot of heart into like the story or the gameplay,
Of course,
like it can make it work.
Like there's only part of the experience.
But
right?
like
yeah.
this.
But
There's
this
no
is,
excuse.
But it's like the rest of the game is mediocre anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of anything particularly.
I think there's something to be said for picking an art style and going with it. Like, imagine if this whole game was, because he's 3D in the game, right?
Yeah.
He's like a full 3D model. If they had stuck with something like this, where they did like actual hand-drawn animation,
Visually, it would have been way more
this,
appealing.
with like they did the Cuphead thing.
Yeah.
They just lent into this aesthetic of
Or
this like
even
sprite work.
very nice.
yeah, I'm getting like a couple of different games mixed in my head. Mega Man and Bass.
Yeah.
Or Bass. Bass.
Bass?
He's not a fish. But
Take me to the river.
but that game, it looked great, and like it was just 2D sprites, but like super super polished. I'm like,
Yeah.
if we could have had that or like this art style in the game, it would have been great.
Yeah,
but
'cause, like this is why people bought the game.
If
Because they
you
thought it was
3D.
going to be something like obviously it showed some 3D visuals, but this art style, the cover image is what really pulled the attention. in the
Yeah,
first place, right?
exactly. Yeah.
You're like, oh, that looks like Mega Man, and then you look and it's like, it's made by Mega Man,
yeah.
and then you go drop $1 million or $4 million on it. And people
Yeah.
are like,
Because we were just like, we want a fun Mega Man
yeah.
game.
I mean, what was like Mega Man 9 after this? Mega Man 9 came out.
No, Mega Man 11.
Man, 11.
Because this
that's
was like
what it
a period where it seemed like Capcom kind of forgot about
there's,
most of the
like-
franchise.
Well, because like
this
Mega
fall-
Man Legends 3 had basically just been cast to the void.
But after this made so much money, I think Capcom did release a new Mega Man after
Yeah,
that, and it's
like
really
they
good, right?
Mega Man 11,
Yeah.
and then like multiple collections. Like they released
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
collection
They-
for the main series, then
Yeah.
X, then Zero, and now there's gonna be one for like Battle Network too. So like they're really
Yeah.
like milking Mega Man for all he's worth.
But they won't. They let Mega Man Legends 3 die.
11's got
Why?
good reviews.
11 was really good. I think it's like probably
The
like
Legacy Collection is like 9 out of 10, 4.5, 6 out of 5. Like that's solid reviews across the board there. Yeah,
Mega Man 11 is like the 5th best game in the entire franchise. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say that now.
nice.
It's a random number I pulled out, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Definitely top 5.
So this was something where everyone was like, "Let's go, let's go. This seems really cool," and
Yeah.
then they shit the bed.
They spent so hard.
The
It
next
is-
one,
It is kind of notable that like a lot of Kickstarters are usually just like, hey, remember this old video game franchise that this Japanese company used to make? Well, we're gonna make that.
Yeah.
Except different, baby.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, I was super paranoid, but I still took a chance with Bloodstained, and
Bloodstained's good.
I'm so glad it turned
That
out
hit
as well
on
as it did.
I like.
so
Oh.
Yes, this was also on
Please,
my
please,
list
please,
as well.
so the fun thing about this for me is that
Oh,
this is
no.
what 2013 was the last update, and when was this made? When was this?
Oh
When
God,
was this supposed to be
I-
delivered?
I remember
'Cause
hearing
these
about
did
this and
come
it's
out.
just
People had
gone.
these. They were supposed
Yeah.
to deliver 2012, right? So,
No one talks about them.
and they got $9 million.
It's insane.
They weren't even looking for that much. They were looking for what, half that? Either way, it's so funny looking at this because you just think about it. You're like, oh yeah, okay. And it's cloud processing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cloud processing. Ouya was realistically the first ones to really get super into it.
Yeah.
Because we had a little bit of it with PlayStation Now.
Mhm.
I think that existed. There's a little bit of Xbox stuff coming in that
Yeah.
way. But nobody touched those. They weren't useful.
No.
They weren't good. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Ouya comes along and it's got this nice little sleek box, and the production quality of the actual Kickstarter is really good. Like they took the time in there.
Yeah.
And then this controller here, you look at that and like that's a pretty nice controller. They even talk about how they want people to like tear it apart so that
Yeah,
you
the
can
hackers
monitor.
welcome.
Yeah.
Really cool.
You got like a lot of watching some League.
Yeah.
Twitch on my Ouya. Yeah.
So and like that controller looks okay. It's an okay controller. It reminds me of like the Steam controller.
Yeah,
It's alright.
which I have a Steam controller. I don't actually mind it that much.
Yeah, people like it.
And I do like the Ouya controller. It's kind of like a unique design.
Yeah, neat.
It's like a little silly looking, but you know, it's charming, right?
Hey, it's still built for humans, unlike the N64.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I don't know anyone with 3 arms, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, so,
N64.
like as much as I enjoyed N64 games, that controller is still just
What were they
so weird.
thinking?
And then they had the GameCube controller, and I'm just like, this thing's amazing.
The GameCube's at least better, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I think that Nintendo's probably best controller is probably the Pro if it didn't have so much
Yeah.
drift issues.
I agree. I think
Like-
the Pro controllers are the best.
Off and tangent here. This is again a reason why I love Nintendo as a company over the years. It's just because they do
They have
play
some weird-
around and they do weird shit, and it's like, well, that didn't work. Let's do this instead.
Pretty much, like even like the Wii was like. Could you imagine like? I
They-
wasn't like really all that into like gaming news at the time, but could you imagine just like watching like the news or whatever? It's like, oh man, look at like this stick. That's like a video game show.
Yeah,
What are
right?
you talking about, man?
So weird.
So I think the Ouya is funny.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it never worked. No, especially back then, 10 years ago,
Mhm.
you don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah.
And the proof is in the pudding that no one cares about cloud gaming because Stadia's dead.
Dude,
yeah.
Gavin, the number one star.
I've put 300 realistically, including the cost of the hardware and my subscription over the 3 years that Stadia existed. I probably dropped about $500 in Stadia.
No,
Jesus.
Gavin.
It's okay. They're refunding me 200 for my hardware. My subscription is gone in the void though.
Oh my
The one nice thing is the controller's still gonna work.
okay.
Oh, okay.
You should be able to plug the controller directly into a computer. It's USB-C. It's also a Wi-Fi controller.
Is it a nice controller?
Yeah, the controller's actually really good. I've got a Stadia closed in the box, and it's really funny that like Stadia died because like Google's notorious for this first and foremost. Google's
Yeah.
notorious for getting something to market and then dropping like a rock because that's how Google incentivizes their employees, right?
Yeah.
Because Google employees get a bunch of money, a boatload of money if they get a new concept to market. Even if it doesn't succeed, you get that money either way. So Stadia, for example, like it's cool.
Neat
it's
idea.
neat. Personally, I have enough struggle getting my Chromecast to watch Netflix effectively. The bandwidth on those things is not good. They don't have a strong enough antenna. And like they don't have a ton of connection processing either, so that's not great either. The main thing that I will say that the Stadia can do that's really cool that most people aren't thinking about is you can play games in Chrome.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll admit it. Like any just
You
random
can
ass
open up
laptop.
Stadia in Chrome. Don't need to open up another computer. It's not doing any processing on the computer side
Yeah,
either, right?
yeah.
So you open it up and you can play games anywhere you want. You could connect to TRU's, maybe not TRU's Wi-Fi, but because of
A
the
decent
way that,
Wi-Fi
that
somewhere.
Edgewell works, but you can connect to Wi-Fi at home, Wi-Fi at work.
McDonald's?
I feel like that one has that login screen, right?
Yeah.
Login screens are going to stop you because you can't connect a controller via the
that
Wi-Fi
makes
that
sense,
way.
yeah.
But at work, you can definitely do it that way. And that's what I've done it before. I was like, oh, it's stat. Nobody's coming in. Fuck it, we ball. And I hooked up a controller, played some games directly in Chrome. And like,
That's
obviously,
kinda cool.
playing Destiny in Chrome, terrible. Because you have your own input going in to the server of Stadia, going to the back end of Destiny, and then back to you. It's like too many steps,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Especially when other players are going, so that was really choppy. But playing like a tactics game,
Yeah, like playing
Right.
like RPG
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
Like great, yeah.
I have like one of the SteamWorld games, I think. It's like SteamWorld
Oh, yeah.
RPG or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that works great. But obviously, no one used it because
Yeah.
it's dead.
I remember like when Stadia first came out, like the only thing I can remember about it was like it was pretty funny to see people like joking and shit posting about how like, oh yeah, like PlayStation, Xbox better watch out, baby. Rule number one, and they were talking about how like, oh yeah, they're gonna buy out Sega or whatever. And it's like, dude.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo's already got that.
I even like I remember at the reveal they announced like Baldur's Gate 3, and I thought that was gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be like their big thing, and they're gonna sell it to everybody, and it's like, oh, that's gonna be like the exclusive, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
gonna,
yeah.
like, what makes people
And that had just appeared
and
everywhere.
everything else, right?
Yeah.
It's on Steam and everything. So like, why even show it like that, man?
Yeah, it's a really good controller. Apparently, though, in the future you can just use a wired, which is, I mean, that's fine. Just a USB-C cable. But at least it's like
It's not a big deal,
decent cable.
especially if it's a good controller.
So you mentioned it's Wi-Fi controlled, but can you do Bluetooth as well?
I don't think so. I think it
It
was
was kind of
Wi-Fi.
whack. Like, what can you do?
Well, because you don't. If you're, that's why they have the wire to the phone. If you were going to do that, it's just
Yeah,
USB to C,
Oh, okay.
and you can do that. It's just the cool thing with being Wi-Fi is it means it doesn't stop at your rig. It syncs to your account and it connects directly to Stadia's server.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Because nothing is happening in Chrome. Chrome
Yeah,
is just
yeah.
displaying it.
Mhm.
Everything is going back there, so you
Okay.
actually have less latency than if it was to go to your rig and then to the internet. That way.
Right, because then like you'd have to like
Huh.
toss it between what 4 different sources?
Exactly.
Yeah, not exactly.
It just
great.
flicks it directly to it, and you're good to go. Pretty
Oh,
cool.
The developers weren't even ready for it.
I don't know. It's cool, but also the problem is it never had any exclusives. And if you're going to do consoles,
Like, you need an exclusive.
exclusive more. Well, because what was the one exclusive it had?
Apparently, indie developers were.
Yeah, not exactly the most prestigious.
Here you go. All the games you might lose when Stadia dies.
Yeah, we got Hello Engineer.
Hello Engineer. Okay, so
no,
a Hello
no.
Neighbor game, sure. I don't know anything about it because I've never played it. It looks like it's a construction game, so sure.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, trying to build like the house, I guess.
Pixel Junk Raiders, Outcasters. I think most of these are going to move. Mega Man Tunnel Bottle, okay.
Pac-Man.
Glint is the one that was like their big game on release that they were like, this is our exclusive. And I mean,
Third-person horror game starring a young girl.
Glint is cute.
Fantastic. I mean, yeah, like it doesn't look too bad. Like,
You got Stadia, you got this little kid, and it gives me
kind of like
Oh.
Psychonauts a little.
yeah,
bit.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say it's Double Fine.
Oh yeah, it is. Okay.
It's not Double Fine.
Oh,
who makes
but
it, but
It's
it's
very
got
esque.
those Double Fine vibes there. It's got a little bit like that.
I do love
Coraline
that.
to
Oh
it.
yeah, I was gonna say Coraline. Yeah, like this literally this like Coraline.
I like this.
I think the closest game that we have to this game right now, that's like readily available is probably like Little Nightmares.
I guess so. Yeah, Little Nightmares is like. No, I wouldn't even say it's. Little Nightmares is more like just a platformer, and you're playing as like a very small character. Like I get that like a little girl is like
But
small, but it's
I mean,
not
from
like
like
miniature.
I mean-
aesthetic and art style perspective.
I guess yeah, you can
Yeah.
take that.
I mean, it's a Dark Druid world where you play a child.
Yeah,
There's a lot of games like that.
Yeah.
Limbo.
yeah, that's fair.
But, I mean, doesn't make them less fun.
Either way, very funny that we're just it's done. They just like
Yeah.
And I mean, functionally I think we're in the same boat with the HoloLens, right? Like
Mm.
that's never coming.
I highly doubt it. I haven't heard anything about that.
There's you
HoloLens
can still buy a
seemed-
developer kit for it.
It seemed more like just like a fun experiment. That's all.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I don't think it was anything more than that.
yeah. I mean, the idea is cool. I like the idea that you have functionally as someone who wears glasses. If my glasses could overlay on top of what was coming in already, there was cameras here and here, and it took whatever was coming in this view and modified it, I would be fine with that. Particularly if it was doing things like that Google can already do, which is like auto translation, right?
Mm.
Because that's one of the things Google's very good with is it can translate any website to English. It can translate audio with earbuds, the Pixel Buds. You can translate audio to other languages too.
Oh shit! I
Yeah,
didn't
they're
know
still
that.
selling it. There was an update on the 12th this month about
okay.
releasing a major OS update. But apparently, people were asking about HoloLens 3, and we won't be seeing one soon because the new report says the department working on the 3rd gen HoloLens headset is in disarray and has scrapped plans for a mixed reality headset entirely.
HoloLens is the Google one, right? Or is that the Microsoft one?
Microsoft, yeah.
What's the Google one?
Google HoloLens.
Google AR. Did Google not have one?
Google Glass. Google Glass. is
Google
the one.
Glass.
Wow, I completely forgot about
Oh
that.
my god.
That's okay. That's probably the appropriate sense to have on Google Glass, considering. Yeah, that's the
I mean-
silly little bastard.
I don't even. Can you even buy it these days?
No.
No, it's just not.
It's just the developer console. You can get a developer one,
Shit.
but they're stupid expensive. I mean, it's cool.
It's a nice idea, right? And it feels like very futuristic.
Feels like you're vibing with a scouter.
like we're like sci-fi
Like,
up in here.
That would be awesome. I would love to try one. But,
Mm. I mean, the cool thing is as we get more and more into like flat screens, like transparent
Yeah.
screens and flexible screens, this stuff becomes more and more
Yeah, the
viable,
fact that
right?
we have the freaking bendable screens and whatnot.
Yeah, and like the idea that you could potentially overlay a clear screen on a set of glasses, like an actual lens, is very cool.
Yeah.
And then you can have modifications on it, right?
And I think just like the main reason we don't see more of this is just like I feel like after Google Glass, people kind of like lost interest in it because it was like definitely like we want to try this out. This is something like you see in movies.
Yeah.
And like we did it, but you know, like it's not realistically going to be selling a lot.
I think
It's very expensive.
hypothetically, one of the coolest things you can do with this is augmented reality tabletop. I think
Yeah.
that's cool as hell.
I like that idea. Yeah.
Yeah, where see, the problem would be controlling it. I think realistically, you'd have to have a camera in there that's recording footage, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
obviously, that's how you get the augment.
Yeah.
And then what do? Like, put your hand there, and it watches your hands to look for
It
contact.
would have to, or you'd
You
have
pick
to have
up
some kind of like,
a glove.
yeah, power glove.
I mean, with the way that Google's data collection works, I'm sure they could get something where it literally just tracks
Yeah.
natural movement with AR objects. I remember seeing, was it Google Glass who had Fez? Was there Fez for Google Glass? I remember. What was it? I saw somewhere there was like Fez augmented reality. I remember seeing that.
As
Wait.
now making me remember.
I saw something
Real
on the last thing about TF2 in the Google Glass. Google Glass Eye. Oh, okay. That was just a joke thing for
Yeah.
one of their items. I was just like, what?
I do remember people having Fez in multiple perspectives in AR,
Okay,
and I was like, that's
interesting.
cool. I mean, there's some fun things you could do. Like, if Stadia didn't die and you had Google Glass to control
Yeah.
the stuff that was coming in, that's a cool idea
That'd
too,
be
right?
kinda nice.
You're just sitting here instead of playing on a screen, you just got like a floating little screen. Just play that way.
Yeah, that's some
Cool as hell.
sci-fi shit there.
Just hide your controller under your coat. You know, nobody can
You're just
know.
vibing in class, you're just playing fucking Smash.
That'd be amazing.
But yeah, obviously, Stadia shit the bed, Google Glass shit the bed, because again, Google doesn't care if something sticks around. It's just about dropping it, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, we're running towards the end of our list here, at least the ones I've got, but
I mean, honestly,
okay.
you got
I got
three
one,
of the ones that I was looking at.
I got
So
one more here that's pretty fun. This is called Yog Venture.
yeah. Oh man, it's amazing how
Wait,
they
is
were
this,
these
is
things.
this a Yogcast thing?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
god, dude, I can't believe Yogcast. Like, have you ever played that one Sonic racing game?
Yeah.
And they're just like
They're-
Yogcasting it.
yeah.
For some reason.
I was so surprised.
But yeah, so Yog's Venture, cool enough idea. The art style's not bad either. Like all the concept art looks pretty
Mhm.
cute. Functionally, obviously Yog's Cast, big Minecraft streamers. That was their thing. I've watched a little bit of their stuff. That functionally they're probably the only Minecraft YouTubers I've ever watched. Because I'm not a child. And I stopped watching YouTubers of Minecraft 10 years ago.
Same here, yeah.
But 500,000 they raised. They were only looking for 250, and like open world sandbox game, designed for multiplayer. Sure, that makes sense. Create shape worlds. It's like all of that seems pretty reasonable, especially because these are guys from Minecraft, right? And the
Yeah.
concept art looks good. You got a few of the characters here. Their characters, I assume.
Yeah.
And then like the character models. I mean, that's fine. It's a reasonable
Yeah.
enough model. It's not voxel, but obviously good. Don't make it voxel. Zoe slander.
I feel like
Yeah.
whenever you see like a thing where it's like, hey man, here's like these like YouTubers or Twitch streamers or like other variety of like internet celebrity. And
Yeah.
it's like we're making a game or we're making a movie or a TV show. It's like I can't trust that.
Yeah.
Especially 'cause
Well,
a
there's
lot
the
of the
thing is
time-
like when something you're expected to spend money on and whatnot.
Yeah.
There are YouTubers that done great stuff, like Markiplier with his Markiplier. He's got a couple. The most recent one, Markiplier in Space was like his most recent one, and they're these huge production value, like choose your own adventure kind of things.
Oh, that's
used in
kind of
YouTube
cool,
videos.
actually. Yeah.
I highly recommend looking up the stuff Markiplier made because they're really cool, and they're just on YouTube. They're not something you're paying to do.
No bad idea.
Um,
I definitely do think like sometimes like though when it comes to like these type of things like it's more like we're making a game because like or a game or a movie or a TV show because we can or whatever 'cause,
yeah,
like,
there are people who just do it because like, hey, we got the clout for it now.
Yeah.
especially it's kind of like suspicious especially when it's like oh it's me but in a video game it's like
Nah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like, look at just this example here. It's pretty obvious where it's like, this is 2012. It was supposed to be delivered. I mean, there hasn't been an update since 2014. And I will say, like,
Yeah,
Dog
what
Adventure
was it?
Land.
that doesn't look good.
I had a thing.
That was like a Roblox game.
Yeah, it's so lame. The game.
That does not look
Dude,
great.
my man's looking like a Playmobil set. Oh my god.
It's so it's very clear here that I'm seeing that like a lot of the crafting stuff is using the same voxel as
Mhm.
obviously it's probably a prototype. It wasn't going to be the final result, but it's very clearly voxel in the same way that Minecraft is.
Yeah.
With the grabs and like you could see how floaty that looks and everything around there, right? Like watching that guy's feet just slide across the floor there with no traction.
It's kind of surreal. Like,
I'm genuinely shocked that for a demo like this, they didn't just at least slap a shadow
Yeah.
on there. Because you could easily map a shadow onto
Yeah.
a model.
yeah, like there's a shadow on the other guy there.
You actually, I think there's some shadows as you finally got up there, but like
Mhm.
directly under the feet, just
Nothing.
make it look like they're making contact with the floor, and it will look significantly
Not just floating.
better.
Oh, even though it's just sliding around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the. Somehow I misplaced the original article that I was looking at that was explaining what happened. But there was a big thing between Yawcast and the company they were asking to develop the game, Wintercule.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's what this is.
Yeah.
It's one last update from Wintercule. Tug team have had a lot of similar goals, provide a detailed breakdown. Backers a chance to fulfill their payments and funds were collected, yada yada yada. One major incident that happened that we cannot fix. Our good friend and painter, he left Lucas to work at LucasArts, so hire someone else. Jesus. It's a long update for saying that you screwed shit to bed and that you're not releasing a game, buddy.
Yeah, there was a big thing where the Wintercule couldn't handle it, or like they were just like, no, this is too much.
Yeah.
So they, had to drop the game.
They have a Discord still from 3 years ago. That's so funny.
Jesus Christ.
Let's see.
It's-
I'm a backer.
I don't know what this game is, but apparently, as a mean of compensating for the burned backers, everyone who pledged money got a copy of Tug instead of, the
game they bought?
instead of the game we bought or the money or their
Yeah,
money
it doesn't
back
get
because they
rich,
don't
man, but
because apparently they couldn't explain where the frick their money went.
Here was Tug. Tug is this game?
I guess so.
Tug
It's
is,
it was made. It was apparently a game representing everything the developers wanted Yog Ventures to be. Made by a different
Tug
company though.
version 2.
Oh no! Look at that! Look at that review score! Oh no!
Okay, I mean, aesthetically, I don't hate it.
I mean, it's better than Yog Ventures already.
Oh,
Not-
I wonder if you go down to the reviews. If
oh,
people are
there
just
he
like,
goes.
oh my god, this could have been Yog Ventures or whatever.
Okay, never mind. I take my.
Oh,
Oh
I take
boy.
I don't hate
Oh
it.
boy.
Oh
No,
my
the
God.
drawn are. Oh no.
That's hard to look at.
Ooh.
Who put this out and was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, the animals are okay.
Like
It's
just
the
art direction in
cobblestone,
general,
I think, is the
but
biggest issue. Like, I can handle the ground, I can handle the trees. This is
Yeah.
fine.
The color palette is horrible too. Like everything just blends together. It's all just
You know what it
green and
is?
brown.
You know what it is? Obviously, these are the cobblestone and even the trees there. You can see that's literally just a texture
Mhm.
applied over it. And the problem I'm seeing here is that the texture is too small.
Hmm.
It's kind of like being blown up a bit.
Well, it's not that it's blown up too much. It's that they're repeating it too much. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
if you're going
yeah,
for
now I
like a
can see
low
what you mean.
detail thing, like you can see here, that's fine. But like, it's all one tone too.
Yeah.
They one thing that would also probably help that would be like a bitmap to give it a bit of texture
Mm.
because it's probably very flat too.
Yo, let's
Oh
read
my
these reviews,
God.
man. I want to see what's going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
So this is what you got if you backed Yog Venture. Let's see here.
Apparently.
Mostly negative. Fair enough.
Dead. They stole my money, the absolute bastards.
They play like they care, but they don't. I know it. I'll tell you how. Blah, blah. So the game is it early access?
It
Yeah,
is.
early access. And let's see.
2014, by the way.
2014. Cool.
Yep.
We love a game that's been early access for years.
Oh my
What was it? Doki Doki Literature Club was in early access forever?
I mean, shit, that came out though.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but man, did that game like exceed expectations?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oof.
pretty much. Yeah.
And I mean, the other game that I can think of that's in early access still is Baldur's Gate 3, and that's been 3 years in early access.
It has been a while, but it's
we're
fun to
getting
play.
updates. We're getting updates. We just got gnomes added to it and bards
Yeah.
and like it's clear that that one's at least making progress.
Yeah.
It's just a massive game.
There are like a lot of Kickstarter games where it's like even though the development is like very very rough, like the finished product is like very good. Like I think Amori has like a very troubled Kickstarter development, but obviously like I haven't played that myself, but I've heard it's really good.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people talking about it. It was clearly a success, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes like even though like things get a little bit bumpy, takes
Yeah.
like 10 years.
That is how it goes.
Don't know how to
unfortunately.
manage money. Like it works out in the end. Other times you have Mighty Number Nines. Other times you have your Illyrias.
Yeah.
There's a scale of this.
Just so we can pretend that we're all talking about other things besides just games.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
This espresso machine. The only reason I know about this is because there's a YouTuber I watched. I think it's like, what is it, Tyler Hoffman?
Oh shit!
That name sounds familiar.
He's a friend of, or at least he's done a few crossovers with, shit, what's his name now? Fuck my life, blanks. Oh God,
Shout out to all the Tylers out.
coffee. Come on,
Some-
YouTube. James Hoffman. James Hoffman.
Oh.
He does a lot of coffee stuff, and
Maybe.
then he's a friend of that guy who did coding videos.
Just gonna spend the rest of this looking up names.
Oh my God.
So what is a PID? What's a PID?
Yeah, so PID, right? The first idea is that this was supposed to be a very, very, very affordable espresso machine.
Mm-hmm.
And it made like $400,000. And it did not do its job. They were trying to sell it for about $400 and $200 to Kickstarter, which is insanely cheap for an espresso machine.
Well, yeah,
How much
that's
are
true.
Machines usually.
Oh, they're expensive. I
They go
worked
to-
at
a lot of them are like when you go to a coffee shop, it's like $3K.
yeah.
Oh,
I worked at a Sears before they shut down, and those machines were just like, I don't know who can buy these.
God damn.
Yeah. As far as like, let's see, PID. So it had a bunch of cool things. I think the idea was that, how did it work? They were talking. It was supposed to be a lot of cheap parts that are high tech, is what it was. So the computer inside of it was what was going to help balance out the cheaper material parts. Here it is. We closed the deal with John Buckman of Decent Espresso. So they sold him all the stuff. The fun thing about this
Yeah.
on the video I watched was that it was this huge Kickstarter for in coffee scene, at least, like big from that perspective. And the idea was very cool and very, very affordable, very cheap. And they had all these ideas and they had all of this like licensing and everything going. And then they sold all of the stuff to this one company. And the company's just like, I'm just starting from scratch. Like they bought all the stuff.
Jesus.
After many months of negotiations and legal wrapping with his lawyers, final terms boiled down to Decent Espresso gets the rights to ZPM technology in exchange for offering all machine pre-orders a $200 voucher to give them a discount on the next one. But yeah, they just really shit the bed. And like, now we've got a few other options. I'm gonna sneeze.
So this is like
Right.
the place I went to, right? It's an espresso.
This is the people who bought it, yeah.
It's like espresso is difficult.
But yeah, these guys here have they bought the tech and stuff like that. And if you actually look into it further, you'll find that it's very funny. How it all worked out is literally just like they didn't use any of the stuff.
Oh, just made everything like from the ground up. So what's even the point of buying it then?
I think they borrowed like one thing from the thing, and then other than that, I think they just did the rest from scratch.
Enough that it could have been troublesome if they had just tried to copy it without owning the rights.
Yeah, it was one of those funny things where it's like they clearly shot the bed.
So,
Yeah.
like, what went wrong here? You know?
Well, I mean, let's see. We got an update in March, and then we got an update in October. So
Moved to
huge
the
gap
back row.
there. Let's see. Negotiations to get ZBM back on track. So something happened there. Update.
Was it like an internal struggle where it's like, oh my god?
They're possible. Oh, those are all backer only.
Close of beta testing, onward and upward. A quick update to let you all know we're still moving, but slowly but surely we received beta
Wet.
units.
Wet pucks?
Solved wet packs. Yeah, so the puck is that disc of coffee that you used to have. Right?
Okay.
Here, let's see. What happened to ZPM? ZPM in the rage of jilted crowdfunder. Let's
Okay.
see. So, I mean, it looks cute enough.
No, man, it's not a very, very.
I
clean
like
design.
this using the jar.
The fun thing about James's video is he actually has one of the early these.
Oh shit.
Let's see. Long years, gradual disappointment since the operations real estate developer who became ZPM's. backer. Oh god, that's very wordy.
There's so much here. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
they're never gonna find the actual reason. Just someone went wrong, and they were like.
So this
Yeah.
is the bad. I don't care enough to look.
I feel like when it comes to like these sort of things, like if you said like it's very expensive, like okay, so this is like a consumer friendly one, but even then it's like $400, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like they're kind of like in this weird space where like $400 is still enough to the point where like you're like a individual consumer
Yeah.
wouldn't consider buying it, but at the
Yeah.
same time a company wouldn't consider buying it because they're gonna look at it, it's gonna be like, okay, this one's $400 and the rest are 2,000. What's
Uh-huh.
up with that? You
Yeah,
know? Like,
right?
something's weird here.
Jesus, yeah. So apparently the COO quit and took half their team with them, type thing.
Oh. Well, yeah, that'd be a big fucking deal.
They tried to create a whole new team. They poured 3 years into it. Vast majority of funds that have been spent on development. They shit the bed. Won't be able to ask for refunds. Damn. Someone said they filed a dispute with their credit card company to get their money back. That's funny.
Damn.
I mean, fair. Yeah, no, that was one of those like Kickstarter stuff that also shit the bed. I don't know what it is, but like, I just don't trust tech on Kickstarter very much at all.
Yeah, even less than video games, you know?
Anything that has like one of those exorbitant development times, I don't trust.
Yeah, yeah.
Something about me wanting, like, all the ones, like if I go to my Kickstarter here, all the ones that I think have done well
Mhm.
are books, tabletop RPGs, board games,
Yeah.
stuff where you don't need as much of a wide team to get it going.
Yeah.
3D printed minis,
More physical stuff.
dice.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But then like video games almost consistently let me down.
Yeah.
There's some disappointing stuff out there, and I'm like, damn, you all really shot the bed on this one, didn't you?
Sad.
Yeah.
I feel like especially because like I think people who are like both interested in tech and interested in video games, like a lot of the time I feel like they're more likely to be like ambitious, right? Because like it's still like a very new field relatively speaking, whereas like with something like figurines, like people have been making figurines for years.
Yeah.
People know how to make figurines, right? Like it's not some new technology that was discovered like 30 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
people have been doing this since like we were cavemen, right? Like
Yeah.
Did you have any more failed Kickstarters you wanted to look at?
I think we just about exhausted all mine. How about you?
Let's see. Did I have any other interesting ones to go into? There were a few like random things I didn't look like super deep into like the others, but there's this thing called the Smarty Ring,
Oh, I remember
which I
the
saw.
Pebble.
Oh,
See, the Pebble's funny because
The Pebble?
didn't the Pebble get picked up by another company?
I've never.
I
heard
could
of it.
swear the Pebble was literally like why I failed.
What the fuck?
So it was a little app, a little watch, right?
Right.
And then you wonder what the Pebble did? They just sold it to fucking Fitbit, which is now owned by Google.
Oh shit! So we're all the way up the ladder. Goddamn.
Yeah, we're back to Google again.
Everything returns once it
This
came.
weirdly gross looking high tech cooler. Okay.
Ooh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a boy.
Scarp was a
Scarp.
razor that was based off a tech that didn't exist. It was a laser razor, which doesn't work.
Lasers. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a laser razor, but there wasn't any actual science behind it. It was just a thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, we watched on the Jetsons, like this man.
Yeah, we're
created
literally
the
just-
I mean,
laser.
you can do laser hair removal. That
Yeah.
exists,
Yeah,
but
so-
it,
But that requires a lot.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
also is very peculiar on like settings and stuff. Like
So
that.
wait, this dude didn't even know the technology. He was just like, oh yeah, like I'll just make this and I'm sure it'll work out somehow.
They used a laser instead of an animal cutting blade. There was a lot of hype surrounding the project. Some were calling it the future of shaving. It made $4 million. No technology claimed. At least the prototype, it didn't work at all. Physics were questioning the product the entire time. Hype like
Yeah.
that. People noticed the details that were sketchy about it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't trust some that said I'm gonna let you have lasers in the palm of your hand.
So is this like a toothbrush that you just like bite down on?
Yeah, it's a toothbrush / mouth guard that's supposed to brush your teeth in 10 seconds. So you're just like, and it goes.
No,
Finally.
wait. Do all the other ones have that as well? Because I see raised minus 3 million.
Let's see here. Why does it say 3 million? Let's see.
So raised and then dash, like as in
Like a
Yeah,
minus?
because it's good. We're unable to find a European manufacturer who could produce the product at the right price. They tried to work with Asian manufacturers, but the quality of
Nah.
the product was too low to continue. They filed for bankruptcy. So,
Oh
they did.
no.
Ugh.
I mean, maybe the idea was cool. Maybe it was a sound idea, and they just shit the bed on it because they put the price too low.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
that
cute
was,
little droid. All right, you know he's kind of cute. I'll give him a pass.
little autonomous drone. This one was funny because it was supposed to be a drone that you sort of sent into the air and it just followed you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which,
yeah.
I mean, very cool for like potential like video recording.
That's
It's
true.
like your own little what's
Third
the
person game.
little pet bird or whatever. Yeah.
the thing from Gundam. The,
Okay.
the little
Aharo.
The Haharo, yes.
Oh,
Yeah. I also like the idea that you could literally like it'd be perfect for like doing a third person thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to record videos like games in third
Or like
person.
or people do all those like GoPro like streams where they have people like decide what they do or whatnot. It'd be really good for something like that.
That being
Play a
said, like,
person.
It kind of reminds me like like in Mario 64, how like the camera is just like the cameraman, like the
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
What else we got in here? We got Eco is a 3D printer. All the components in a single body. I mean, that's theoretically fine. Much lower price tag. That's the problem. You put the price, but it's not going to happen. For $180, you were not.
What? No,
That doesn't make sense.
You
no.
were not getting a FDM printer for $180. There's too much.
That's
Yeah.
cheaper than like a small TV. You know what I mean? Like how the hell are you actually gonna?
That's cheaper than a Switch.
Exactly.
Apparently it existed, but the problem is like
Which is probably just bad, right?
the quality sucked.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
It probably printed out like
The
shit.
nozzle was probably shit. The Bowden tube probably sucked.
Mm-hmm.
The heater's probably shitty in there too. Like, cost too much to make compared to what the company was selling it for. Quite quickly ran out of money after the units were shipped.
So they had the best intentions to release a really like cheap printer, but then it just turned out to be
You're
way
not
too much.
doing it for that cheap. You can't. It's too much tech in there.
Yeah.
Like I have a giant Ender 3 Max at home, and its build plate is huge, and it cost me between all the parts and stuff I bought. It's like $700 or something like that, or like $650 or something like that. Like you cannot do. I mean, this one seems like it's fairly small, but like even so,
Yeah.
no. Vamps is this a little magnetic charger thing? Yeah. Okay. I mean, those exist.
Yeah.
Those aren't particularly special. I'm actually really unsure of what like sets this apart here.
portal
Let's see.
of an
Thermal
unethical
thing.
campaign promoters. Okay.
Oh no.
What happened?
Dang.
Snaps failed because their promoters kept pushing back shipping dates, never shipped anything. Damn. So
Pretty
it's just a cool idea that just never went anywhere. Rude.
People were definitely out for just money.
Ooh,
That's
that's
sort of
cool
like
as
magic
hell.
band. That's like a very sleek design. I like that.
Very thin, very cool electronic display. Updates on the Kickstarter. Failed to ship. 2 point in various manufacturer problems for the watch. However, very little information was ever provided.
So these guys just literally vanished. Like they weren't even like, oh man, oh
No, there it is.
Yeah, number 3. Oh, the eye backpack. That was another
I
thing I
remember
looked
this
up.
one. Yeah.
Okay, what is this about? Oh,
Oh,
it's just a
just
very
that-
high tech backpack.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
silly. That just looks silly. It reminds me of on ThinkGeek, you used to buy techwear
Nah.
where they had like headphones built into the hood and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
speakers and stuff, and it was like
That's
this is
silly.
all ugly as hell.
That's pretty much just like an example of like we need everything to become high tech now. Like, that box is high tech, guys.
Oh,
You mean that tech box is going to become high tech?
Tech box.
I thought maybe you were going to point at the garbage can.
Yeah, the garbage can?
Which would have
Yeah.
made way more sense.
That's my new Kickstarter campaign, dude. High tech
High-tech garbage
dumpsters,
can.
You know? Like,
Dude, if I had a garbage can that could take itself out to the curb, I'd be so happy.
they're pretty cool, yeah.
that's cool as hell.
Oh.
All-in-one computer and mobile.
So it's like a phone or a tablet.
And-
Dragonfly
Yeah.
Futurion.
I mean, it's not really all that similar from something like a Microsoft Surface Pro.
Well, it's like a fold.
Oh shit! There's 2 screens. Okay, I thought that was like one from different sides, but
Yeah,
like
I'm not
really just
sure.
like
Either way, they never even got a prototype, so clearly it was nothing. It
Yeah.
was never anything it was going to be. Triton is cool. This was rad.
what is it?
It's supposed to be an aperture that like pulled oxygen out of the water. Yeah, it was supposed to extract oxygen from the water so you could breathe underwater.
Oh, yeah.
Sci-fi water.
I remember this.
I love this.
It never worked. It never worked.
Yeah.
It was just supposed to say that it was supposed to work for like 45 minutes, But we cut 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. It never was a real
Yeah.
thing.
It doesn't sound like they had any proof whatsoever that it would work.
I mean, there's like, you can't pull that much oxygen.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, and even just testing it is kind of risky, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Your best bet for something even close to that. Yeah, I love Big Geek, but shipping to Canada sucked on it, which is why I'm kind of okay with the fact that GameStop bought them. There's the toothbrush.
there's
Ouya
Ouya
again.
again. It's all good.
Someone was
Oh,
making
it's the movie. Yes, I saw this one while I was looking up stuff too. Oh my god.
a fake failed Kickstarter project. A comedy group asked their fans to finance them. They're in a movie.
76,000.
Jeez. They won't be able to make the movie without further explanation, then they just left. They uploaded a trailer.
A comedy group that scams their fans 70K on Kickstarter and then spends the money on parties and vacations. They literally made a movie.
Sorry. They said they were making a movie, stole the money, and then released a movie about the fact that they stole money.
Yeah.
That's
That's-
ballsy.
That's
I
amazing.
actually like that. That's pretty
And good on them for sticking with it.
I'm kind of okay with that, just to think of how impressive that
Well, because
is.
like
They
if
delivered.
they
That's
get
what
what
I
they
said.
paid for in the end,
That is a
even if-
comedy movie.
You got a movie, it just wasn't the one you thought it was going to be.
And then imagine, like, because they're like a comedy group, I'd imagine that's probably their plan all along. Right?
Oh,
This is probably
no,
satire.
obviously.
Yeah.
like they just had a game plan.
Yeah, they had a game. They were patient, man. They were like, all right, we're gonna wait this out.
Yeah, they just endure all the hate and then
I mean, that's funny. We got Scarp again. Nobody likes Scarp.
More
Nobody likes
honest-
Dog Adventure.
There's
Everyone
Kiko
mentions
again.
Adventure, like, it's
there's
really
a lot
good.
of I think we're getting into like a lot of like repeats now.
Ouya, Pebble, Exploding Kittens. Why is that on there?
I guess
Oh, it's just an
like a
example.
thing
Oh, yeah.
That was on Kickstarter.
I was like, Ouya. Okay, the Fidget Cube, Exploding Kittens, Veronica Mars, those all went well enough. Let's see, 12 successful ones that never delivered. We got Aura Tactics. What was this supposed to be? A tactical. Oh, okay, sorry, that's
a tactical RPG, but it's just like a picture of Grey.
Yeah,
Like,
what that
confused
oh,
me.
it's random ads in the middle of the I hate
Yeah,
that so
okay,
much.
so we got a.
Oh, this one's from Kotaku, so it's mostly games.
Yeah, I mean,
That's fine. Let's see what
Let's
what
see.
they've got to
So,
say.
it's unclear why Aura Tactics was promised to be a tactical RPG with asynchronous multiplayer disappeared with over 11,000? Oh, that's not very much. Let's see. Let's go to a new tab. I don't know how to use a Mac.
Dude, why do they give us a Mac? Why do they hate us?
Because most people love.
Why are we using this room that they're letting us use for free?
Exactly.
How could they do this to us?
Yeah.
Aura Tactics. Let's see here. 2013.
I like
Oh,
the
it's
logo.
small. 11K. Okay.
Not a
And it
big
was
one.
just supposed to be this. Little...
We're not big for where we promised. Oh.
Well, okay.
No. There's some class swapping, and then let's see.
Look at all
25%
that.
profits.
Gameplay.
And let's see those comments. Let's see what they say here. Let's see. Whatever happened to this? Lesai, cough, still nothing.
This one's kind of impressive because there's almost nothing.
I mean, they made a little bit of money off just a cool idea, and then they haven't updated it in 8 years, and no one ever got it. It's interesting.
Hell yeah, baby. That's what like we see.
LA Game Space. See, this is a much larger amount of money, so I'm curious to see what this one would look like.
Mm-hmm.
LA Game Space.
Yeah, because Aura Taxes was like kind of on the down low.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
So LA Game Space was a place. Made a bunch of money, and the idea was that what's this? A non-profit center for video game art, design, research for people from all backgrounds.
Is
get
that-
together.
Katamari's do. Oh shit, nice.
Creator Katamari was there.
So it's basically just promising like, hey man, if we get your support, then like these famous video game developers will come in.
They'd give you a bit of games, and then people would come, and I guess the idea was that you'd work together to build something there. Let's see.
Yeah, do you,
It's a more noble.
is
idea,
that is it what I'm thinking of? Because I remember hearing about these big gaming complexes that people were building.
Yeah, I mean, there's some for esports that obviously.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
And
So there's
those are
like this
silly.
one, and it's just like a big gray block.
Yeah,
It's like
the esports.
friggin' prison. Yeah.
But yeah, it never came to fruition.
Hmm.
They never gave us a building.
I guess like their idea was basically just like it's more of like an art type.
I mean, the
kind of
idea's
thing.
cool. I don't know why you couldn't do it. Just buy a
Yeah.
building.
I don't know why they need a Kickstarter for this. You know?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
guess to like get
If a
all the
bank wouldn't
developers
fund
on
it.
board. I don't know.
if a bank wouldn't fund it, you don't have a choice, right? What do we got? Code Hero. That is going to be useless. Code Hero, a game that promised to teach you how to make games. Oh, that's cool. It was like a how to code game. Here it is. The game that teaches you to make games.
I like that idea.
I mean,
actually
Roblox
not bad.
teaches kids how to make games. It exists.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Game teaches you how to make games. We did it. We can do it again. 170 out of 100.
Wasn't there like some Switch game that came out like?
I will
a
say
year ago or
nothing
something?
visually in here looks very good to me.
Yeah, this is
Mhm.
kind of not very appealing at all.
Let's see updates. Goodbye.
Goodbyes.
What year was that? 2014.
So the guy who was running it is leaving the project, and no one followed through on it. That's so funny. It's always interesting grinding the Kickstarter project with scared you back then. This was one of the worst for sure. Surprisingly enough, the website is still up. The last update was 2017 though. Pics of the parties he had. He owed us that at least. Purchased bundles for $15. Same time Bitcoin was announced. Ew. Don't say Bitcoin.
Ugh.
After a series following the events of February 22. That's for the Xbox games, shining it. Let's go down to the bottom and see if there's anything that's really cool in here. Young Venture, there it is.
Once again.
Declining.
That's where it's like you can't look up any bad Kickstarter post without Yogg's Ventures. Like it has to be there. It's a staple.
Yeah.
They shit the bed really hard.
Yeah, and-
I don't know why when you looked at that, you were like, yeah, that seems reasonable. That's what I'm going to spend my money on.
Yeah, I guess.
That looks great.
I mean, I kind of get it. It's like, that looks neat. And then you're one of those, you either get the hardcore people who are like, I want to support Yogscast, so they spend a lot of money. Or you got people
Yeah.
like, I'll do the bare minimum. Why not?
I feel like for the most part, when it's like Yogcast stuff, it's coming from the fact that like they're famous, right? Like,
Yeah.
people like them not because of
No,
this
absolutely.
name, because of their YouTube stuff, right?
Yeah.
So people are more willing to donate just for that.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, like, my number 9, I did way too much because I got way, way too hyped about it. But, like, just if you do, like, the bare minimum, something where you're like, oh, that's interesting, I want to
Yeah.
support it a little bit. And then if it doesn't work out, you can be like, I did the bare minimum. I don't feel as bad about it.
I mean, for me, I think it's like when it comes to like a video game, at least, I think like if you can show me like gameplay,
Yeah.
like all right, I know you're at least like somewhat credible, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So many of these Kickstarters is like, hey man, we have the concept art. By the way, nothing else. Like, dude, just show me like a video of like 30 seconds of you playing the game. You know,
Me and a
what I
buddy
mean?
were going to make a version. It was going to be like almost like a parody of D&D, where essentially the idea was that everything was rolled with D6s because that's what people had lying around, right? Your standard
Yeah,
Yahtzee
yeah.
dice. Everything was D6 based, and everything was pick up and go. So we had the idea was that there was going to be monster cards. That was all going to be there. You just flip the monsters out. And then there was player cards, and it was all going to fit onto like a cue card.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea was that the game was supposed to be just very like pick up, go, and play within 4 hours type thing, and be
Right.
like perfect for like one shots and
Yeah,
introducing
yeah.
new players to RPGs. And then we just never finished it.
Kind of like a bridge between like D&D and Munchkin, if you know that.
Yeah,
game.
kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, so one thing I think we could do right now if we want to is just sort of look at the Kickstarters that are popular, and see if we
Okay.
and maybe make a guess to see how it's gonna go.
Fucking Velocipaster.
So Velocipaster.
Christ.
I
I
think
can't
that's-
believe there's a second one.
I think it's gonna go great. Everything I know about Velocipaster says that this is going to
Oh
be
my God.
amazing.
What is Velocipaster?
Oh my god.
Okay, so Velocipaster is the most wild nonsense I've ever seen. It's played completely straight, and there's no way that it's not an accident.
You gotta show me. I gotta see
Shit,
it,
yeah.
believe it,
We'll bring out the Velocipaster trailer.
Oh my god. Okay, but I'm not playing the whole thing.
Wasn't the trailer on that page?
Hey, Velma. Well, no, that's Velocipaster 2. We need to show you the first one. Also, I forgot.
shit.
Was it Ron Jeremy is in there? Oh god.
So this is like a bad movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so
And
bad.
It's played completely straight too. Like so, like the
It is-
Velocipaster.
Is this like a Birdemic spinoff?
No.
So the idea, I'm just gonna clip through it a bit here because it's more fun that way. So like
He's
Oh,
bought
shit.
ninjas.
Hey,
Fucking
stereotypical ninjas attack him. and
His
instead,
fucking
and
one night stand is there too, or
and also
whoever
somehow
that is.
badass, and he's like a pastor. Obviously, that's part of the name. But
Then-
the thing that's really funny about it is like, obviously, like just there you go. Yeah,
Yeah, he got his throat. Nah,
the
Velocipaster.
Velocipaster. Like it's
I do like
so bad. And the funniest thing is like, it's played completely straight.
Yeah,
I mean-
apparently he didn't know that he was turning into a Velociraptor. Ah!
This is like some Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
And like when you look at the footage, or like the TikToks of the social media accounts for it too, like it's still played completely straight too, and it's so funny. Like they don't,
Like, they're serious about this.
they act like they didn't make a terrible film, And
Freaking
it's-
Lloyd the Conqueror had higher quality than this.
God, Velocipaster 2. Oh my
Doug and
lord.
Carol travel to the port city of Milan, where they have to solve a series of murders committed by a mass slasher at an Italian fertility
That-
festival.
That art looks really cool.
Oh shit, they got Soviets in there? Hell yeah.
Yeah, knives. The
Wait, is
killer.
this supposed to be like a game? Because this is like
I think this is supposed to be a movie, isn't it?
It has to.
it has to be, but like they're talking about these different like. I mean, of course there are.
You made a bad movie and people loved it. Yeah, that's fair.
That's
Raise my Velocipaster fan fiction, please.
God no.
oh geez.
But yeah. Okay, so
That's
I
ridiculous.
think that if they get the money, they will successfully make something. I don't.
Oh,
Think it'll
they'll
be good.
make something. Yes.
And I don't think it'll be as charming as the first one because I think they're gonna willingly make something that's supposed to be campy, and that's not nearly as funny as when it's
Well,
an accident.
there's-
It's either that or they'll try and like actually up the budget of what they did, and like actually try and make something that's better put together, which would probably make it more mediocre.
That's my point. Is like either they're gonna try and camp it up too hard and it sucks, or they're gonna do something try to make it good and then it's still gonna suck in like a lamer way, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like like you know now like what the appeal of your movie is. Like you've seen the reaction, and I feel like that like definitely plays into like the making of the next one, right?
Yeah.
You're thinking like oh yeah people like this in the first movie, blah 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 blah.
Let's see. Fresh favorites. Let's go taking off. Yeah, let's see what's taking off. Queen's Dilemma is a board game. That'll be fine. I don't think I'm too concerned about that.
Yeah.
A lot of board games up here. There's like Zoo Tycoon.
Yeah.
That's
board
not
game.
surprising.
Zoo Tycoon board game.
puzzle
Puzzle.
pieces.
I mean, interesting. That's fine. Another board game. Like board games.
All rounder
All rounder
pants.
pants, like just very comfortable pants, I guess.
Let's see.
You guys want to buy some pants?
No. And I'm willing to bet it's hit its goal 5 over. Their pants. Proprietary graphene integrated fabric. Okay.
47% less. Oh my, dude, 47% less.
I don't care. They're
Oh my
pants.
God.
47%, like half the weight of regular pants. I have never had a problem with how much my pants
Yeah.
weigh.
That's my
Exactly.
point.
I've never been like, oh
To be fair,
man.
they are supposed to be work pants, but I've worn
Yeah.
heavy pants and they're pants.
See, the only thing I kind of like, because I like, pockets and like good stretching, but it's like, it's insane how much.
What's up, man?
Yo.
You here to be our second guest on the podcast, man? We're talking about bad Kickstarters.
Well, now we're just looking at what's up and coming, and
Yeah.
now we're just like, why is this a
Let's
thing?
scoot back over as we look here.
Dude, these pants, 47% lighter than every other
Let me ask you
pants
this,
in the
Arda.
world.
Are your pants too heavy?
Like, you have trouble lifting your legs?
I'd like to think so, Gavin. Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about what's in the pants.
No.
Literally, the fabric of your pants.
Are you concerned about the weight of pants?
I don't think so.
No, exactly. Who is the target demographic?
Maybe
mean-
people with really weak legs, like...
I'm trying to think, like, I guess it could be annoying, because, like, if you're wearing, like, coveralls, or, like, some of those, like, heavy-duty pants that you need for certain jobs, like, I guess they can be annoying.
But like, when have
But
you
I'm
ever heard like a warehouse worker and he's like, "Oh man,
I know,
these
right?
boxes aren't heavy. Like it's the pants
Like-
that are the
Yeah.
problem."
I just wonder if it's just, like, it's something I don't think about, because I don't work a job that requires these things.
No.
Like, does it make a difference?
I feel like with this, it's more just like a bunch of dudes like they saw these pants and they were like, "Oh yeah, man, like they're made with
so
elements."
I was
That's
willing to look
too
at it
cool.
and be like, you know what? Maybe it's cool. They're $100 for a pair of pants. Fuck
Damn,
that.
dude. And
I mean, they're not the first to charge that much for a pair
No,
of
I
pants.
know, but like,
aesthetically, they're nothing really all that special
No.
either.
They're
Like,
just lame ass cargo pants
oh shit, you brought the Snickers,
or
man?
cargo
Nice.
shorts.
yo, can I interest you in some shorts?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No.
No world. I think that this is like, I know it's funded. I think even if it comes, it's going to suck. I can't imagine them being.
I mean,
How much backers do they have right now?
they're way over their
I
thing.
don't know. It's 511 percent now, so they've done their
Oh my
job.
God.
I can't imagine it being very good.
What's the market for this? Like, how many dudes are there really like, "Oh man, I hate how heavy my pants are," Like,
I don't know.
I mean,
I
if you ignore the heaviness, like the idea of having pants that are like comfy and stretchy but can still hold up under like certain work conditions.
Quick
I
heads up,
guess
the
so.
webcam
That's
is
fair.
on, so people.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a warning.
Yeah.
Let's see, Monty Python, extremely
Role-playing game.
officially licensed tabletop RPG for Monty Python. I don't believe that it's licensed. based off of all of those words.
To be fair, I think Monty Python would be okay with this.
Oh, I don't think they give a shit. Monty Python's hilarious. Their whole shtick was making fun of other people's stuff. If they can't handle satire, that would not look good on them as a company.
No, I think they would support this.
Yeah. The flip die is cool. It's a spin the top thing and you get a number. So it's very
That's
nice.
fun.
I saw that before.
What's that colorful thing in the bottom left? What does that say?
Or this?
Yeah, this one right here.
Oh, the
So-
first compatible Lego compatible keyboard?
Lego compatible keyboard. Oh shit.
Yeah. So this is a mechanical keyboard that is Lego compatible. What does that mean? What is a Lego compatible?
You can just like slot your Legos in your
Okay.
computer if you want to
So I know what Lego is. I understand that. There's a keyboard.
get. Man, I can't wait for my fingers to hurt.
No.
Is it literally just so you can put Legos on
So
your
don't even,
keyboard?
the keys aren't even Legos. Like you literally just like put Legos on the side of your keyboard.
That looks awful.
That does look.
It looks like. Could you imagine just like trying to
Wow,
move your
who is-
hand off your keyboard
Who
and
is
just
the
hit some
target
fucking Lego?
demographic for that?
I mean, if it's actually like customized, like
Okay, are we getting something cool?
I guess like when you order it, you can like have like a custom look to it or whatever. Yeah.
Touch. Okay.
Okay, that
Is
makes
a
sense,
keyboard
yeah.
cover? What part of that is a keyboard?
I guess they
The
put the
back?
keyboard on top of it.
I think that's the back of the keyboard.
Yeah,
oh.
And then like most of it is covered up by the keys anyways, right?
I mean-
What's the back of the keyboard?
It's not like the back. Okay, cool. Like this is fine. I mean, aesthetically, those are cute, I guess. Right? Functionally, they're Lego keys with the cap over them, and I mean,
It
cool.
still have to be like good. Good MX. keys.
Yeah, they would definitely be the right clicks.
Yeah, to be fair, if it's just like a keyboard that's not as comfortable as like regular keyboards, but it is highly customizable that people can just mess around with, and that's a thing you care about and want, go for it.
I don't. Does it look highly customizable? Does it just look like they added a bunch of?
I'm saying if that is what it
It
is.
looks customizable, but it definitely seems
Like,
a very
I
big
would not-
hassle.
Like I would see this and I'm like, I have no interest in delving any deeper into what it's about, but if other people are interested in it,
I'm one of those people who like I actually really want to get into making my own keyboards.
Okay.
There's kits you can get where you can do really cool things with custom keyboards. This is not what I would want to do with a keyboard.
I feel like for this, it's mostly just like this is for like the diehard Lego heads. You know, like people who like really like Lego.
That's
like
fair.
they're down to do anything for Lego. Like they wear Lego pants. You know.
I could see that succeeding. I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if people actually got it.
somebody's got such big blocky plastic pants on.
I'm just saying, man. Like, people who like live or die for Lego, like they do anything.
Yeah.
Legendary metal coins. They're coins. That's fine. See, this is cool. Kalinsky sable brushes and wolf bristles. That's really good for mini painting. I actually backed a
Wolf hair?
paintbrush company. Yeah.
Mm,
It makes me
Um,
forget like how much of Kickstarter is just kind of like a lot of like figurines and dice and everything
Wolf
like
is
that.
44. Sable is 79. So mine was actually much cheaper than that. I'm really hoping the quality's okay when I get them. But there's something similar to these, but without such an ugly container. The container on the one I backed is actually much nicer. Here, let me see if I can find it for you. Hopefully, I eventually get it. Because they're super behind date on there too, right? So that's actually a recent one.
yeah, really.
Brush.
It is neat at the very least.
This is the one I backed. Kalinsky Sable Brushes by Cryptic Gavin. Very nice aesthetics of it all. Like, look at this little kit, little case here, little full set. Fulfillment was supposed to be 2021 though, and we are
Ooh.
2 years later, and I still haven't gotten mine yet. And I bought the triple set.
I feel like after viewing all the stuff we just viewed, like fulfillment 2021, like it feels very tame. You know, like
Yeah.
it's like that's not
Yeah,
2014.
that's-
The
Yeah.
one argument I will make is that I understand some of the issues they might have faced with COVID
Mhm.
coming in.
yeah.
Yeah, anything that got started in
2020.
Yeah, during COVID
2019.
times. you get some leeway.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Was like they were manufacturing it from somewhere, and that manufacturing facility got shut down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, there's no way that they could physically do anything. In most of the places, like people are getting
Yeah.
them now. Like someone in Alberta got there, so like it's
Oh.
coming. People are getting them.
Good,
now,
good.
which is good. Just 2 years delayed, right?
I'd imagine for like
They're
a
also
lot
like
of
1/3 the price of these ones, or like
At least
half.
they're not like Tesla.
Tesla is the worst company.
I know.
I hate
agree
them
with that.
so much. I
Oh,
fundamentally
Musk.
despise Tesla. Even just based on them and BMW literally produce all their cars the same, and then based on the version you buy, they lock half the stuff inside of them.
Really?
Yes, I remember that. Yeah,
People are jailbreaking BMWs right now to get heated
Oh my
seats.
God.
so funny.
Sorry, they're pirating the heated seat code.
I love that.
Definitely something I would do.
I love the idea.
Yeah.
You could like buy a Tesla and jailbreak it. 'cause
Yeah,
they're so
buy a
shitty.
cheap ass Tesla and then just jailbreak the hell out of it.
Cheap.
Well, cheaper than they're trying to charge you for installed features that are.
They're
They're
there.
blocking.
They're just dicks.
You can always order one from China.
Yeah, I can drive on the other side. It's fine.
Let's see. Fun Bricks, Monkey King.
Got Wukong up in there.
Yeah, it's a graphic novel. Did you guys hear about the
The Black Myth Wukong.
He's not
or
super
whatever?
relevant, but the graphic novel that like Berserker or whatever it was, the Keanu Reeves graphic novel.
No, never heard of that.
No, what?
There's like a Keanu Reeves graphic
Yeah.
novel?
Probably the last thing we'll talk about today because I think we finally hit
Yeah.
the hour mark here.
We're
so
pretty close to noon. I gotta get going
We're
pretty
actually a
soon.
little after. I spelled Keanu wrong. That would be a problem.
Hmm.
Hmm. Where is it?
It's abbreviated with double E, right?
It's spelled really weird.
Keanureeves, I believe.
Keanu.
Yeah, there it is.
graphic.
Well, I saw his name, anyways.
Keanu novel Reeves graphics.
There you go. Berserker. It's spelled very strangely. Which I can't imagine what's the best way to spell it for people trying to find it.
It's definitely like, oh man, look at us, we're so cool. We don't use vowels. Like,
Mhm.
now, are you 16, bro? Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know when we're gonna do an episode. If we do an episode of like potential graphic novels and stuff like that, but yeah, Keanu Reeves has a graphic novel.
It's really weird that they felt like they needed like he just help making it, or did they just use his likeness for it?
I think they just use his likeness, I imagine.
That's weird.
They're probably just like, yeah, we need a graphic novel.
It's like Keanu, you
Keanu's
peaked
gonna
with
be-
John Wick. Don't try and overdo your badass personas.
Let's see. Why Kickstarter? What part of this is Keanu?
I mean, he definitely just looks like the model for the main character, you know? Which,
Yeah.
you know, fair enough, right? Like,
It's
you know, he's a
fine, I
handsome
guess.
guy. I get what they use him.
I hope he
Keanu
didn't
Reeves
charge
really
him.
create this. Yes.
Oh, shit. Okay, never
Keanu has
mind.
been actively, intimately involved throughout the creative process. Keanu Reeves
Oh.
and co-writer Matt Kint have worked close together.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So
I wonder if
Which almost is even more of an ego thing because he put himself in a comic that he came up with.
and apparently they might be making a TV show for it or a movie, and it's a star.
I mean, why would you not?
Yeah.
I'd be more surprised if he said no.
Yeah, I want this based on me, and then I'm not going to star in it. Find someone else who looks exactly
just-
like me.
I wonder if, like, almost Keanu was like, yo, I want to make this into a TV series, but I don't have a fund, so he just settled for, like, the graphic novel aspect of it, maybe?
Maybe that's why it initially looked like
Yeah.
it too, because like that was like part of the concept art for the show.
Yeah,
I mean,
I love Keanu. I really hope this isn't him just like starting to get a
He's
big
on
ego
the
because of
ego
everything.
trip, baby.
I don't know. He seems pretty genuine.
He
Just,
does.
Like,
He does.
if you look
And I'm-
back at like Matrix, when
I'm
he
just,
should have had the biggest
like-
ego. Is like
Keanu and Ryan Reynolds are the two people that I hope will always be and are as wholesome as like they've always seemed to be.
Yeah.
Because if anything happens with those two, I'll just be
sad.
I'll be sad and I'll never trust any celebrity or famous person ever again.
And honestly, with Keanu Reeves, it's like, this dude's been famous for, like, a really long
Yeah,
time.
Matrix.
If he had gotten,
Bill and
like,
Ted.
an ego,
Yeah,
it would have
well,
happened years ago.
to be fair, I think he has some very humble beginnings as well, which helps.
Mhm.
True.
Bill and Ted and
But even just looking at like Matrix, he was so famous after that, and he
Yeah.
was still chill.
yeah, which is
Like
great.
all those sad Keanu memes and stuff like that was all before John Wick.
Yeah, that's
right?
true,
So it's like
yeah.
there was a time there where Keanu, I think, was like donating all his money to charity still.
Yeah.
Right.
And like
No, Keanu's
living in a
cool.
pretty small apartment and stuff like that. Like the
Very
dude
minimal.
did not let fame get to him very much. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well done, good job.
Thank
Good job,
goodness.
Um,
We need some people like that.
yeah,
Truly the best of us.
I'm excited. I mean, we got that new John Wick coming eventually.
That poor
right?
situation with Cyberpunk, though. Oof.
That's not his fault. He,
That was
Yeah,
not his fault, but
he
he
was just an
got
actor in that
used
game,
to
you know?
hype that up so much.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not one of those people who's
He
like
was cool
super.
in it.
Oh, he. Hey,
Silver?
he was a bit too
Yeah.
But I like that game. I actually still enjoy it, and I look forward to replaying it now that it's had that big update recently.
I actually
general one.
I tried it after Edge Runners came out, and it's alright. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I know everybody hated on it with its bugs and its development and all that, but I didn't actually find it that bad. I played through it. Like, I started it when I got it, and I played through to the end, and I was like, eh.
Even the tabletop RPG is really good too.
Oh,
Isn't tabletop RPG?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's what it's based off of.
There's
right?
Cyberpunk, the Cyberpunk Red, and then and that's based in like 2020, I think.
okay, neat.
Yeah. No, the RPG is really cool. But yeah.
All right. I mean, I'll probably check this out. Is it still running or is it done?
This is done. It got
Okay.
1.5 million and was only asking for 50,000 though, so huge
That's of
percentage.
course.
People like Canada. There.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I hope he gets his epic graphic
I
novel.
will say the funniest thing about the premise here is it sounds exactly like that Netflix Immortal show that they did with Charlize Theron.
Basically, he's an immortal warrior seeking only one thing: the truth about his blood soaked existence and how to. Oh, so he's just trying to kill himself. Okay. God
What are
damn.
you doing?
Not the person.
Why?
Why would you do that?
The Old Guard. That's the one on Netflix with Charlize Theron.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like
Then that's also about like immortals and stuff like that too.
Mhm.
I mean, Immortal isn't exactly a uncommon.
No,
trait.
it's just like
Right.
badass immortal warriors
Yeah.
searching
Mhm.
for logic about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll call it for tonight.
This is fun.
For today, not tonight.
For tonight. Whoa.
Hey, I wish it was tonight.
The
No,
day is
hold
not
on.
moving that fast. Buddy. Come on.
On that note, I think next week we're doing a tier list.
Yeah. What are
yeah.
you gonna do for that? Like.
What do we want to do? Mushable cryptos.
Well, I think
Stolen from Game
let's
Grumps.
save Kissy Cryptids for later.
Okay.
Soda tier list. That's what I say.
You wanna do
tier
soda?
list. Soda tier list. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
fine.
we have to talk about all the weirdest sodas as well.
For sure. Okay. Someone will have to make that. Tyler, sodas was your idea?
Soda's my idea.
You
Yeah.
have to make the tier list.
Oh,
baby.
okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. I'll gather the images, man.
Okay. Yeah. So next week we are going to do a tier list on soda.
Yeah.
So it's a very variety.
Yeah.
So, we're very inconsistent.
Whatever strikes our fancy.
Can I spoil it now? Canada Dry's S tier. Saying there right now.
We'll see. We'll see.
What are you talking about?
We'll see.
It's not pretty good. It's pretty
Alright.
amazing, man.
You guys
Mix
next
it with
week.
some beer.
See ya.
That's great.
Bye.